Hello to each and everyone. Welcome to our session from standards to performance, operationalizing the multi-year PMES cycle in classroom practice. I'm your facilitator, Roslyn E. De La Serna, and I am thrilled to embark on this journey with you today. In our profession, assessment is a word that sometimes brings a little tension, right? But what if we shift our perspective? The new performance management and evaluation system isn't just a compliance checklist, it's our blueprint for becoming the best teachers we can be. Our time together is strategic, with three clear goals in mind. By the end of this session, you will be able to explain the four phases of the PMES cycle and, most importantly, understand its role in fostering your professional growth. Identify your specific performance objectives, that's our COIs and NCOIs, and know exactly what means of verification or MOVs are needed for each. No more guessing games. And formulate a practical action plan for documenting evidence and actively engaging in the crucial coaching and feedback phases. To get there, we will follow this roadmap. We will start with the why, the rationale, then we will demystify the PMES framework and cycle. Next, we will dive into the assessment components, the what and how, then finally we'll zero in on the individual performance commitment and review form or the IPCRF, your annual performance contract. Every field has its own jargon, and PMES is no different. Let's create a shared vocabulary so we are all speaking the same language. I call this our PMES glossary. First is the NCOI, or the Classroom Observable Indicator, an objective in the IPCRF evaluated primarily through direct classroom observation. The IPCRF, or the Individual Performance Commitment and Review Form, the official document used to plan, monitor, and formally rate a teacher's performance objectives, or the KRAs, for the year. KRA, or the Key Result Area, the broad strategic classification of objectives defining a teacher's core professional responsibilities. LAC, or the Learning Action Cell, is a regular, collaborative professional development activity where teachers meet to share practices and solve teaching challenges. MOV, or the means of verification, the evidence or documents like test results and action plans submitted by the teacher to prove the achievement of an objective. NCOI, or the Non-Classroom Observable Indicator, an objective in the IPCRF evaluated using evidence gathered outside of different classroom instruction. For example, professional development, community involvement. Let's start with the foundation. This multi-year PMES is official, anchored in DepEd Memorandum Number 089 Series of 2025, dated October 1, 2025. Our purpose is to establish a streamlined, consistent, and strengthened teacher performance assessment system. We need clarity and fairness across the board. The core mandate is key. PMES is firmly anchored on the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or PPST. The standards define what it means to be a quality teacher in the Philippines. Now, for the big change, it follows a new 3-year PMES cycle. That's school year 2025 to 2026, up to 2027 to 2028. This allows us to cover all 37 indicators under the PPST, ensuring a holistic evaluation, not just an annual sprint. And finally, the scope is broad. It covers all public school teachers from Teacher 1 to Master Teacher 5, including those in alternative programs like ALS, Madrasa, and special education. The PMES isn't a single event, it's a cycle. It follows the four phases of the Civil Service Commission's Strategic Performance Management System, or SPMS. Think of it as a continuous loop, ensuring perpetual professional growth, not just an annual snapshot. Let's break down the four phases and their corresponding activities or schedules and tools. Phase 1, Planning and Commitment. Alignment of standards, self-assessment, IDP, IS plan preparation are the tasks under the Phase 1. It is scheduled 1 month before to 1 month after the official start of classes, and the key tools are IPCRF, SAT, IDP, and IS plan. Phase 2, Monitoring and Coaching, full period CO1, full period CO2, frequent walkthroughs, and regular monitoring. Schedule throughout the school year quarter 1 to quarter 4. Key tools COT and the PMCF. Phase 3, Review and Evaluation, midyear review, 5 months after classes open, and the year-end review and evaluation, after the last day of classes and before the first day of succeeding school year. IPCRF and the PMCF are the key tools. Phase 4 is Rewarding and Development, the finalization of individual development plans or the IDPs, after the last day of classes and before the first day of the succeeding school year. IPCRF and IDP are the key tools. The PMES cycle is designed to be supportive and developmental. Phase 2, monitoring and coaching is crucial. Don't wait until the end of the year. Engage your rater, ask for feedback, and use your LAC sessions to address challenges as they happen. That is the true spirit of the PMES. In the first part of our session, we established that the PMES is a multi-year cycle, distributing all 37 PPST indicators across 3 school year 2025 to 2026, 2026 to 2027, and 2027 to 2028. This ensures that over 3 years, every facet of your professional standard is assessed. Now let's connect that to your career stage. The indicators you are assessed on are directly linked to your current teacher position and the corresponding PPST career stage. We do not use a one-size-fits-all approach. Teacher 1 to 3, beginning towards proficient. Teacher 4 to 7, proficient. Master teachers 1 to 2, highly proficient, and master teachers 3 to 5, distinguished. This is critical because your performance is only assessed against the standards relevant to your current role. A master teacher, for example, is assessed on indicators focusing on mentoring and curriculum development, which is appropriate for their distinguished role. For any given school year, you will focus on a total of 14 PPSC indicators. These 14 are a mix of classroom observable indicators and non-classroom observable indicators. COIs are assessed through classroom observations and NCOIs are assessed through your means of verification, MOVs or documents. Take a look at this slide. For every career stage, whether you are beginning towards proficient, highly proficient, or distinguished, you can see the exact breakdown of the COIs and NCOIs assigned to you for each of the 3 school years. This level of clarity removes all guesswork from your performance planning. Your focus is now highly targeted based on your career stage and the current school year. The core of the PMES cycle is performance monitoring and coaching, or phase 2. This is not just about evaluation, it's about formative assessment and development. It includes 3 main components. First component is the formative assessment and regular coaching. This is the continuous supportive process. Second, full period classroom observations, the scheduled and formal assessment. Third, accomplishment of NCOIs, submitting and annotating the documents or the MOVs for your non-classroom task. And let's dive into the two types of classroom observations. First is the frequent short period and walkthrough observation. This is the developmental approach, a key feature of the new PMES. It is formative. This is a non-rated observation. It doesn't contribute directly to your final numerical rating, but it is vital for your growth. It's brief, approximately 10 to 15 minutes in duration. Your rater might use a monitoring by walking around strategy. The primary goal or purpose is to provide constructive, immediate feedback and identify areas for improvement before the formal assessment. After each walkthrough, you'll have a brief debriefing. The observer will document the findings and the outline for improvement in the performance monitoring and coaching form to track your progress. Now, use this. If your rater is in your room for a walkthrough, see it as an opportunity for real-time coaching. Be proactive and ask for feedback on a specific instructional. Now for the formal rated component. You are required to undergo 2 full-period classroom observations each school year. These observations directly assess your COIs and contribute to your final rating. The first full-period classroom observation is scheduled during the first or second quarter of the school year, while the second full-period CO is during the third or fourth quarter of the school year. This timeline is deliberately spread out to give you time to implement the feedback from the first observation. This series of slides is your observation guide for the next 3 years. They show the specific PPST indicators you will be observed on for the first CO and the second CO of each school year, segregated by career stage. Notice that for school year 2025 to 2026 and 2026 to 2027, you have 6 COIs in the first observation and 6 COIs in the second. The final year, school year 2027 to 2028, the number of COIs slightly adjusts to 5 and 5 for all career stages. This is the schedule and distribution of PPST COIs for highly proficient teachers. This slide shows the schedule and distribution of PPST COIs for distinguished teachers. What does this mean for you? Well, you must plan your lessons for your full period observations to strategically demonstrate these specific indicators. When you know which indicators are due, you can intentionally design your instruction to showcase your mastery of them. This is a definition of strategic performance management. A quick but important note for our master teachers or highly proficient and distinguished. Your role, as indicated by the PPST, requires you to wear two hats, as a classroom teacher and as a mentor. Look at this table. These are the PPST indicators that you are expected to demonstrate both through classroom observation and through the submission of evidence of mentoring and collaboratively working with colleagues. Your performance objectives reflect your expanded role in supporting the professional development of others. For example, master teachers must demonstrate their ability to apply content knowledge, but also their ability to mentor colleagues in using that knowledge. This dual requirement ensures that our most experienced teachers are recognized and assessed for their crucial role as instructional leaders. And the full period classroom observation, the one that is formally rated, is a standardized 3-stage process. Think of it as a play with 3 acts: pre-observation, observation proper or the actual observation, and post-observation. Following this process ensures fairness and reliability in our ratings. The first act is the pre-observation. This stage is all about preparation and clarity. This observation or the pre-observation must be scheduled at least 3 working days before the actual CO. This gives everyone time to prepare. If there's a conflict, it must be deferred but immediately rescheduled. And in case of unforeseen circumstances like a public health crisis, alternative modes like online synchronous or asynchronous may be approved by the SDS. Before anything else, the teacher ratee and the observer must have a pre-observation conference. The key goal here is to review the specific classroom observation tool rubric levels appropriate to your career stage. You need to know exactly what is expected of you. While the default mode is in person or face to face, we have flexibility through alternative modes: online synchronous, online asynchronous, or even a CO via learning action cells for certain contexts. Teachers must submit their lesson plan to the observers at least 1 day before the scheduled CO. This is for reference and not for correction. Both teachers and raters must ensure that the lesson plans, instructional materials, and assessment tools used for the CO reflect what is actually employed during regular class days. We want to see your authentic best practice, not a performance prepared only for the reader. Technical assistance on the lesson plan itself is discouraged at this stage as it compromises the integrity of the evaluation. For the stage 2 or the actual observation, this is the act itself where professionalism and focus are paramount. The observer's primary tool is the observation notes form to record comments and observations. Observers must sit apart, if multiple, and must avoid any discussion with one another. The observer must avoid giving any feedback, including nonverbal cues like facial expressions during the observation. Why? To maintain objectivity and to avoid disrupting the teacher's flow or the classroom environment. The rater should thank the teacher and leave the room immediately after the observation. The rating and feedback belong in the post-observation phase. A special requirement for highly proficient and distinguished teachers or the master teachers is that their observation team shall include at least one teacher ratee. This is a powerful integration, turning the master teacher's observation into a mentoring and coaching opportunity for a junior colleague. The final act or the post-observation stage is the crucial analysis and consensus phase. The rating for your COIs shall be solely based on the actual classroom observation as recorded in the observation notes form. No other external factors are to be included. Furthermore, only those indicators expected to be observed in that specific CO period shall be given ratings. If there are multiple observers, a few rules apply. First, only the subject specialist is expected to rate indicators 1.1.2, 1.1.3, and 1.1.4 concerning content knowledge and pedagogy. If there's only one observer, they rate all. The final rating shall not be an average of the individual ratings. This is important. Instead, it must be determined through reasoned and consensual judgment among the observers. This ensures that the final score is a qualitative agreement, not a simple mathematical mean. The full period observation is not complete without the post-observation conference. This must be conducted immediately after the observation or within 3 days thereafter. The conference is a protected time to discuss your performance, allowing you to reflect on your strengths and areas for improvement. This is where the coaching happens, where you and your rater discuss the how-to for the next step of your professional growth. Our next component involves the NCOIs, those objectives related to professional development, community involvement, and other non-instructional responsibilities. The evidence for this is your means of verification. We have two major shifts here. First, cross-cutting evidence. NCOI evidence can be cross-cutting and target multiple objectives. It means you do not need to duplicate copies of a document for every objective it supports. A single certificate of training, for example, might serve as MOV for professional development, resource management, and collaboration. Use the annotation box on the IPCRF wisely to link one MOV to several indicators. Second, no portfolio collection. No portfolio for performance assessment shall be collected. This is a major move towards streamlining the process and reducing paper burden. The focus is on the quality of the MOV and the annotation, not the physical collection of documents. In the spirit of collaboration, we recognize that many NCOI achievements are a result of teamwork. Teachers who collaborated on a school-wide or grade-level initiative may provide a shared documentation. The document must have clearly indicated roles and evidence of contribution for each teacher. This ensures accountability within the team effort. The acceptable group documents include team lesson plans, school-based training programs, community projects, and classroom innovations implemented at scale. This provision validates and encourages the collaborative culture we are trying to build. The mid-year review is our first official check-in on the IPCRF. It serves two purposes. First, review and assessment of professional standards, COIs and NCOIs, checking on the accomplishment of objectives against the first half of the year. The second purpose is to review and assess the core and leadership competencies, assessing your behavior and functional capabilities. For COIs, the mid-year review will focus on your performance during the first full period observation. Each COI is rated based on two measures. Quality is the effectiveness of your teaching strategies determined by the COT rubrics and transmuted to the corresponding PMES rating. Timeliness, a measure of whether the two scheduled full period observations were completed based on the prescribed timeline. This tracks compliance with the system itself. Assessment in the PMES isn't just about what you accomplish, it's also about how you conduct yourself and your competencies. The core competencies, where all teachers are assessed on this, which are anchored on RA 6713. They represent how you demonstrate and uphold the values of the organization and the civil service. While the leadership competencies are rated only for master teachers and teachers who have supervisory functions, like teachers in charge. They cover supervisory functions like leading teams, making strategic decisions, and fostering a positive culture, aligning with their expanded role in the PPST. Your core and leadership competencies are rated using a 5-point scale with specific definitions. 5. Outstanding. Consistently exceeds expectations, exemplifies behavior that inspires and influences others. 4. Very satisfactory. Consistently demonstrates the desired behavior at a high and reliable level. 3. Satisfactory. Most of the time demonstrates the behavioral indicator with occasional lapses. 2. Unsatisfactory. Sometimes demonstrates the behavioral indicator and needs improvement. 1. Poor. Rarely demonstrates the behavioral indicator and significantly below expectations. Now let's look at how your rating is computed. It's a weighted calculation. The professional standards or the CRA objectives is the bulk of your rating, accounting for 95% of the total score. The weight distribution, since you have 14 PPSC indicators per year, each indicator is weighted at 6.786%, and every objective truly matters. Your raw COT score from the classroom observation is not the final PMES rating. It's transmitted based on your career stage. A score of 6 is outstanding for a teacher 1 to 3, but a score of 8 is needed for a master teacher 1 to 3 to be outstanding. This ensures that the standards are appropriate to the career stage. A proficient teacher is held to a higher standard than a beginning teacher, which is only fair and developmental. Your composite rating for profession standards and competencies is average and transmuted to your final PMES rating on a 5-point scale. 4.5 to 5 will get 5 PMES rating or outstanding. 3.5 to 4.499 for very satisfactory. 2.5 to 3.499 3 satisfactory. 1.5 to 2.499 2 unsatisfactory, and below 1.499 poor or 1. Here are two examples. Teacher 3 or beginning towards proficient observations gets a 6 and a 5. The average PMES rating is 4.5. This transmutes to an overall PMES rating of 5 or outstanding. Master Teacher 2, highly proficient. Observations get a 6 and a 7. This averages to a PMES rating of 3.5. This transmutes to an overall PMES rating of 4 or very satisfactory. The overall COI rating is based on the average of your 2 full period observations, and the system ensures that your growth across the whole year is factored in. Your NCOIs are rated based on 3 measures. Quality: is the MOV relevant, substantive, and aligned to PPST expectations? Did it achieve the goal? Efficiency: was the output achieved with optimal use of time and resources? Timeliness: was the task performed promptly and adhered to deadlines? Each NCOI is rated using the same 5-point PMES scale based on the extent of demonstration across these 3 measures. The IPCRF mathematically combines your ratings for professional standards, which is 95%, and competencies 5% to arrive at your final overall PMES rating. A composite average of 4.5 to 5 earns you an outstanding. A composite average of 3.5 to 4.499 earns you a very satisfactory rating. And this final numerical and adjectival rating is the basis for your recognition, awards, and professional development planning. The final phase of the PMES cycle is rewarding and development. High performance has tangible benefits. First, career progression. You may be considered for promotion and career progression opportunities. Second, professional growth. You become eligible for scholarships, training programs, and learning and development activities relevant to your performance and growth areas. Incentives. You are recognized through incentives, awards, and other existing recognition mechanisms of the Department of Education, such as the Gawad Tomasino of the SDO Santa Tomas City. Ultimately, every cycle concludes with the Individual Development Plan or the IDP. This is the bridge to the next PMES cycle. Your IDP must reflect the following: your identified strengths and development needs from the performance review, coaching and mentoring needs discussed throughout the performance cycle, alignment with the school improvement plan and the school's capacity building priorities. Your IDP ensures that your performance journey is a continuous, strategic effort that benefits you, your students, and the entire school community. One of the most frequent questions we get is, who rates me? The PMES provides a clear rater approving authority matrix to ensure accountability and proper alignment. This matrix establishes the lines of performance evaluation for everyone. For most teachers, your rater will be your immediate supervisor, a master teacher if available, or the school head, department head. For a teacher in elementary or teacher in junior high school and senior high school with no master teacher or department head, the school head steps in as the rater. The final authority to approve your rating rests at the division level with the school head, assistant schools division superintendent, or the superintendent depending on your position. The key takeaway in this table is know your rater and your approving authority. This is critical for the Phase 1 planning and commitment stage and for Phase 3 review and evaluation. The PMES is designed to be comprehensive, and that means it must address the unique challenges and changes in a teacher's career. These are situations where we need clear, consistent guidelines. Life and unexpected events happen, and the PMES acknowledges circumstances that may impact your ability to perform, and this include the following: natural or man-made calamities, events like typhoons, earthquakes, or other unforeseen circumstances, health and personal status changes, cases where the teacher became pregnant, acquired a disability, injury, or illness that significantly affects their duty performance. Mid-year hiring or teachers hired in the middle of the school year after the scheduled timeline for the first full period CO. The system adapts to these situations to ensure that the teacher is not penalized for factors outside their control, often adjusting the required number of COs or MO. If you are transferred, reassigned, or detailed within the school year, the PMES ensures continuity and fairness. The rating obtained from the classroom observations in your originating school shall be carried by to the receiving school. Documents supporting NCOIs must also be accepted provided that they are validated by your previous rater. And the receiving school shall honor these ratings and documents to ensure the performance evaluation process is seamless. You don't have to start your documentation over. If you are promoted to a position that changes your career stage, for example from Teacher 3 to Master Teacher 1 mid-year, if you render 90 days or more in the new position, your evaluation shall be based on the tools for the new position or career stage. If you render less than 90 days, your performance shall continue to be evaluated using the tools for the previous position and prior ratings shall be honored. For teachers granted official leave, study leave, or scholarship for a continuous period of 6 months up to 3 years, you shall use your IPCRF rating obtained in the immediately preceding rating period as your rating for the year of your leave. To help you navigate this system, familiarize yourself with your official toolkit. These are the mandatory forms for documentation. SAT, or the Self-Assessment Tool, is your internal compass for reflection. Instructional Supervision Plan. This form is the school's proactive roadmap for coaching and development. It is completed by the master teacher and school head. It aligns key results areas and objectives from your performance commitment to specific enabling projects and activities such as coaching or learning action sales sessions. The plan details the name of the teachers who will receive the professional development, the type of PD activity, and the time frame. Essentially, it answers the questions: what targeted support are we providing, to whom, and when? This ensures professional development is not random but strategic and aligned to your needs throughout the school year. This slide shows the specific PMES tools that guide your evaluation. These tools are tailored precisely to your career stage, reflecting the required complexity and scope of your work. We have the tool for beginning towards proficient teachers, teachers 1 to 3, the tool for proficient teachers, teachers 4 to 7, the tool for highly proficient teachers, master teachers 1 to 2, and finally the tool for distinguished teachers, master teachers 3 to 5. Each tool ensures that your performance is assessed fairly and accurately against the standards appropriate for your professional journey during the school year 2025 to 2026 cycle. PMCF, or the Performance Monitoring and Coaching Form, is the record of all formative feedback and technical assistance. COT, or the Classroom Observation Tool, the rubric used for your formal observations. IPCRF, or the Individual Performance Commitment and Review Form, your performance contract and final report card. My colleagues, we started this session with three objectives: explaining the PMES, identifying your objectives, and formulating an action plan. Now that we have the full picture, let's solidify that action plan. I want you to leave here with a PMES trio committed to memory. First, know your 14. Be intimately familiar with the 14 COIs and NCOIs assigned to your career stage for this school year. Use these 14 indicators as your daily focus. 2. Document SMART. Use cross-cutting MOVs for your NCOIs and remember, no portfolio collection. Quality annotation is your best friend. 3. Embrace coaching. Treat every short period observation and post-observation conference as a non-negotiable opportunity for growth. Don't wait for the final rating and seek feedback now. The multi-year PMES is a commitment to continuous growth. Is about building a better you for a better depth ed and a better future for our learners. And let's make this year an outstanding success. Thank you for your commitment to professional growth and for dedicating your time today. We look forward to supporting you as you apply these strategies and continue to move toward the distinguished teacher career stage. Thank you for your attention.